Good day, here are the headlines from the Philippine News Agency. The Philippine Coast Guard reports that the China Coast Guard has removed the floating barrier it installed at the Bajo De Masinloc. Initially spotted on satellite images on Thursday, the PCG said the barrier was taken down after the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources provided supplies to Filipino fishermen in the area. However, BFAR said local fishermen reported that foreigners said to be from China and Vietnam were seen within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. PCG spokesperson Commodore J. Tariela said Filipino fishermen are the ones most affected by these illegal actions. Last September, the PCG removed the 300-meter-long floating barrier in the southeast portion of Bajo De Masinloc placed by the China Coast Guard. The PCG says the barrier, which blocked Filipino fishermen's access to the area, also posed a hazard to navigation and a clear violation of international law. Meanwhile, BFAR says it has received reports from local fishermen alleging cyanide fishing by foreign fishermen. They also reported being shadowed by the CCG using rubber boats. The PCG says it has not yet confirmed reports of cyanide fishing in the area. Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. has assured President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. that Task Force El Niño and local disaster risk reduction and management councils are actively working to mitigate the impact of the weather phenomenon. During a meeting at Camp Aguinaldo, Teodoro emphasized the role of the LGUs and the DRRMCs to effectively address El Niño. He says they are in the best position to determine the needs of their communities, especially during crisis and emergency situations. He adds this is also in line with the President's whole of government approach to mitigate and manage the impact of El Niño. Teodoro says the task force will streamline the national government's response to the phenomenon as President Marcos wants a systematic, holistic, and results-driven interventions. In January, Marcos signed Executive Order No. 53, which aims to streamline, reactivate, and reconstitute the old El Niño task forces to develop a comprehensive disaster preparedness and rehabilitation plan to address the El Niño and La Niña phenomena. Teodoro was designated as chairperson of the task force with Science and Technology Secretary Renato Solidum as co-chairperson. The Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or Philhealth reminds its members that the recent increase in coverage rates for its benefit packages is available only in accredited hospitals nationwide. Philhealth Acting Vice Chair Ray Balenya says there are about 12,000 accredited healthcare partners all over the country. This year, the increase of members' contributions to 5% was implemented in line with the Universal Healthcare Law. Philhealth also earlier announced an increase of 30% on the rates of its benefit packages. The adjusted rates came into effect on February 14. All companies will implement another round of increase on the prices of gasoline, diesel, and kerosene effective Tuesday. In separate advisories, Philippine Shell and Sea Oil Philippines said gasoline prices will go up by 1 peso and 60 centavos per liter, diesel by 1 peso and 10 centavos per liter, and kerosene by 1 peso and 5 centavos per liter. Clean Fuel will also implement price adjustments except for kerosene that it does not carry. The changes will take effect at 6 a.m. Tuesday, except Clean Fuel, which will increase prices at 4:01 p.m. on the same day. Other firms have yet to announce similar adjustments. According to the Department of Energy Oil Industry Management Bureau, the move aligns with its projections due to the ongoing conflict at the Lebanese border. This is also due to the surge in U.S. crude stockpiles, disruptions in shipping in the Red Sea, and the Suez Canal, and expected strong demand this year. On to some sports action. Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao will not be able to compete at the upcoming Paris Olympics due to age restrictions set by the International Olympic Committee or IOC. Despite efforts from the Philippine Olympic Committee to appeal for his inclusion, the IOC stressed the maximum age limit of 40. Pacquiao is already 45 years old. The IOC says it is necessary for all athletes to undergo qualifiers, including Pacquiao, had he met the age requirement. IOC Director for National Olympic Committee Relations James McLeod reaffirms the IOC's stance on the age limit and the qualification process. In a letter, he says the only valid boxing qualification system for Paris 2024 is the one approved by the IOC Executive Board in September 2022, published and distributed to NOCs and boxing national federations on December 6, 2022. He also says Pacquiao does not qualify under the universality rule as the Philippines exceeded the allotted number of athletes in individual sports at the last 2 Olympic Games. The Philippines had 17 athletes in Tokyo, all in individual sports, with Hidelin Diaz Naranjo winning the country's first Olympic gold medal, and Carlo Paalam and Nesty Petesio clinching silver medals, and Yumir Marshal bagging bronze in boxing. So far, the 4 Filipinos have qualified for Paris, including world number 2 pole vaulter EJ Obiena, Marshal, and artistic gymnasts Carlos Yulo and Alea Finegan. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website, pna.gov.ph, our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Silvisio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account, via the News and Information Bureau website, nib.gov.ph under PNA News, or on the Facebook page of the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO. I am Benj Bondok, and this is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.